The hierarchic principle is the second fundamental foundation of the world of the future. I cannot stress enough. A new construction, according to the principles of Agni Yoga, is not possible without the establishment of a hierarchy. In an Agni Yoga community, the hierarchic principle applies. Above must lead and below follow. Otherwise, there will be chaos. Not the majority, but only the wise, the spiritually most advanced members guarantee that the right solution for all questions of everyday life is found. An Agni Yoga community that is part of the Federation Temple of Humanity is under the leadership of the Mahatmas. That we must always bear in mind. It is the very purpose of our foundation to contribute a small stone to the building of the coming world state, which will be ruled from Shambhala. In practical terms, that means down to the smallest questions of everyday life, what counts is not what the individual or the majority thinks is right, but what the Mahatmas advise. Our group is, of course, not yet mature enough to be led by a member of the Brotherhood personally. Also, the masters cannot decide on and execute the solution of every small question of everyday life. Therefore, we have to build up an earthly hierarchy, which ensures that in all our affairs, the higher will is firstly recognized and secondly actually implemented in practice. Behind these few dry words is in truth a task of gigantic proportions. You will soon discover there is a lack of resources everywhere. Where can we find suitable teachers and guides who, according to their spiritual development, are capable to discover the will of the Mahatmas in each individual case of everyday life, and who, in addition, have the authority to enforce it in the community? Where are the co-workers who are able to recognize the hierarch as someone spiritually superior to them, and who are also prepared to subordinate themselves to him? Unfortunately, the consciousness of most is so little developed that they follow all sorts of false prophets or unqualified teachers. Hence, the paramount importance of the education, which we had already discussed. Then, do we have a dictatorship? No, a hierarch is not a dictator. The community and its government will of course consult. However, it will not always be possible to find unanimity. Also, we do not always have months to debate. In some cases, a decision has to be made within hours. Therefore, there is no other way than that at the end of the day, someone, namely the teacher, assumes responsibility, sums up the discussion, and makes a decision. A true wise leader is characterized by the fact that he not only sticks to his own opinion, but is able to weigh the many divergent contributions of his colleagues, filter out the best suggestions, and unite them to a synthesis. At this point, the suitable co-workers are separated from the unsuitable ones. It has to be stated thus clearly. The many esoterics who still indulge in their sweet but unrealistic dreams of a community without hierarchy, without leadership, have no place with us. They have not yet understood, and still must go through the bitter experience that a community without leadership means nothing but chaos. Most spiritual communities have failed because there were either no hierarchy or no suitable hierarchs. The Prussian spirit of command and obedience is not exactly what I hope to find in a spiritual community. That is not the point. The concept of hierarchy must not be a nightmare for you. On the contrary, you will experience it is a bliss when you are being led by someone who is greater than you. When you can integrate yourself into a community and feel safe there. When you find exactly the place you deserve according to your spiritual development, with truly greater souls above and smaller brothers and sisters below you. And when you may serve the hierarchy exactly there, where you can contribute the greatest benefit. The goal must of course be to make available physical rooms in as many cities and villages as possible where co-workers can meet and provide services. However, if that is not possible, we can also build a virtual Agni Yoga temple. Our business operations can also be carried out by using an online platform for ethically pure services. Most of our services, especially the particularly important spiritual help, can nowadays be provided via the internet and Skype or Zoom. One can cooperate successfully while being in different cities and even in different countries. With every new scientific discovery and invention, distances become of less and less consequence. The education as well can be done via the internet, for example, on the basis of the broadcastings of Agni Yoga Web TV. We realize the Church online as the members of the community connect in spirit and meet in a temple of the subtle world, the picture of which I will show you at the end of this broadcasting. There we can step before the Masters in spirit together, beyond the limits of matter, time and space. Finally, another promising possibility to work together in spirit is build an ethics network online from providers who undertake to do their professional work according to ethical standards. Anyone who has converted his business to ethically pure work, as we have just discussed, can offer his services here. With the help of the ethics network, a consumer who is looking for a baker, farmer, doctor, craftsman or lawyer who regards himself as a servant of the common good will be able to discover what he is after in his vicinity. Here, the provider finds those customers, and the customer those providers which he is looking for, and suit his demands. We are living in a time in which the best people have to offer, their work, is being misused in an unprecedented scale for selfish and destructive ends. An ethics network shows a way out of this vicious circle. It enables providers to earn a living with valuable, ethically pure work. Consumers can get everything they need in terms of food, goods, and services from an ethically pure source. In such a network, suppliers and buyers do not have opposing interests, as in the capitalist economy, but common ones. This is how you can lay an essential foundation of the world of the future, without having even to mention the terms Agni Yoga, Temple, New Man, or New World. We are already a big step closer to our dream of a community with schools, doctors, courts, and business enterprises of our own, if there are such ethically working institutions in our vicinity, for the benefit of us and of all other people. The Agni Yoga temple as well is only a preliminary stage. We have dealt with it so thoroughly because, in the present world situation, it seems to be the only realistic way of building communities of the New World. But we want more. The New World State, the Federation Temple of Humanity, is a union of villages, cities, regions, and ultimately entire states. Therefore, at the end of this broadcasting, let us take at least a quick look at the next level, a settlement of 20 to 30 families, which is ruled from Shambhala. Isn't this the dream of every spiritual community? Acquiring land and erecting buildings there in order to live, to work, and to manage a business enterprise together in a self-determined and, as far as possible, self-sufficient manner according to ethical principles. Well-known examples are Findhorn, Auroville, Taizé, Halcyon, the seat of the community temple of the people, which lives according to the teachings of the temple, and the ashrams of many other spiritual teachers around which followers have settled. Another prominent and, with its successes and failures, highly instructive example is the Israeli kibbutz, which has attracted many young people from all over the world and represents a significant attempt to bring about a more humane society. However, I have to pour a little water into the wine of your enthusiasm. Agriculture is hard physical work, such as digging out potatoes and pricking beets. This is not necessarily the job of a spiritual person. For him, the spiritual help that is given in an Agni Yoga temple in the city might be a more appropriate field of activity. Our settlement can, of course, offer both agricultural products as well as spiritual services. Why do we need a village at all? We have already said, ultimately, the new man cannot develop his potential to the full when he is forced to live among old men. When he is ruled by the ignorant, has an ignorant boss, and his children are raised by ignorant teachers. Ignorant or selfish politicians, elected by the ignorant masses, lead the people into misery or even to war. Every single individual will have to bear the consequences of this misguided system, and karmically even a part of the responsibility. Therefore, in the long run, it is an inevitable necessity which life itself enforces, that several immortals, several new men come together and establish their own institutions. Kindergartens, schools, universities, government authorities, courts, business enterprises, army, police, and so on, which all are working according to the principles of the living ethics. Only with new institutions will the world of the future really emerge. That requires, however, that several families live together in the same place. The only way to convince our fellow men of the greatness, beauty, and superiority of the social system of the future is visibility. Let us show them a concrete, living, worldwide visible example of a really functioning community, a sanctuary of the new world, which they can visit and inspect. Watch again the movie 1 Million Years Before Christ, not because it pictures humans grappling with dinosaurs, but because a coarse, primitive tribe is contrasted with a community of higher, finer customs. We have to create such a higher culture that is visible to everyone at first glance. Let us set up a model settlement where anyone interested can live and work together with us for a few days or weeks and make the practical, lively experience of how much better things are in the new world. All men are longing for a better life. As soon as they see it and experience it, they will imitate it, whether they are living in Siberia or on the Amazon. How marvelous when we can call out to them. We have built a wonderful world for you. Join in. Come, naked ones, and we will clothe you. Come, little ones, and we will raise you. Come, mute ones, and we will give you speech. Come, blind ones, for you shall see the destined realm.